Many people prefer the ability to see their character as they play the game. For those people, today GameRanks is going to talk about 10 third-person games that are coming in 2016. Just a really quick disclaimer, Mass Effect Andromeda is not on this list because all signs are pointing to that coming out in 2017, and these are third-person games, not just third-person shooters. Number 10, Hitman. You know the Hitman series has had a bit of a sordid existence, but believe it or not, the 6th Hitman game is the first one to be called just Hitman. Supposedly this game is going to feature a level design much more similar to Blood Money. This is great because the best thing about Hitman is the fact that it's a sandbox game. The freedom to complete all the different missions the way you want to is the reason why you want to play it. Absolution was a much more linear experience, and while it certainly wasn't bad, it was actually a great game, it wasn't quite enough of what makes Hitman Hitman. For me, Hitman represents recognizing what makes a certain series great, and I sure hope that it delivers. Number 9, Mafia 3. Another really fantastic old series that really needs a new entry is Mafia. And this year we're finally getting one. At first glance, Mafia looks a lot like Grand Theft Auto, but really it's a little bit more atmosphere oriented and attempts to handle everything just a little bit more realistically. Also, it'll feature some tie-ins with the last Mafia, including the protagonist Vito Scaletta being a lieutenant in your personal Mafia. A lot of people are really excited about this because Mafia is kind of a series that never fully got it right. It had so much potential, it was really fun, and it seems like Mafia 3 might be the one where they finally bring it all together. Number 8, The Legend of Zelda Wii U is going to be a massive jump for Zelda. Nintendo has realized that The Legend of Zelda needs to be an open world game. Knowing that the NES original is essentially the equivalent of what an open world game is for that era, the style they've created is somewhere between Wind Waker and Skyward Sword, and it's gorgeous. If you ask me, this is probably going to be the best Legend of Zelda game in a very long time, and it's probably going to set the bar for 3D Zeldas. I don't know that it's going to take down Link to the Past, but that just might be the nostalgia talking. I think we're going to see something really good. Number 7, Paragon is a multiplayer online battle arena game coming from Epic Games. Now you know them as the creators of the Unreal Engine, which means this is going to be a pretty damn good looking game. But on top of that, you have third-person control in a shooter environment as well as strategic elements. It's going to be a hero-based shooter with a card system, which is kind of starting to become the thing. The thing about Paragon is it's kind of a new spin on MOBA. Epic is looking to make it a much more action-oriented and interesting game, and if they deliver, it's probably going to be one of the standard MOBAs in most tournaments. Number 6, Final Fantasy 15 is finally coming out. What's funny is how long Final Fantasy 15 has been in development, yet how much of the development seems to have happened this last year or two. Recently, Square showed off more advancements in the Final Fantasy 15 battle system that really make it look exciting. I've played both versions of the demo, and the second version actually had much better combat. It was a lot more streamlined and enjoyable, and you see a lot more teammate-oriented stuff going on, and I really like that. I am really hyped for this game, and it has been a long time since I said that about a Final Fantasy game. Number 5, Gears of War 4. Now, Gears of War has always been a franchise exclusive for Microsoft, but it's never actually been owned by them. That changes with Gears of War 4. Microsoft purchased the rights to the franchise and brought over the game's director of production from Epic in order to work in the Coalition, which is their subsidy that is in charge of making this. They did such a great job with the remake of the original Gears of War, and I wouldn't be shocked if it's one of the highlights of the year. Number 4, Quantum Break. The more we know about this game, the less easy it is to describe. There's platform elements, there's adventure elements, there's time bending, there's a lot of branching choices will play out in the situation of a time travel experiment that's gone wrong. This game looks extremely interesting, and I wouldn't be shocked they drop a lot of footage that sets a lot of expectations very high. Number 3, Dark Souls 3. Now, if there's any series that has extremely high expectations, it's Dark Souls. Dark Souls is present in almost every quote-unquote hardcore gaming discussion, and sets the bar for difficulty in modern games. A bar that not many other games actually even meet. The latest entry looks to retain a couple of the advancements from Bloodborne, but really, Bloodborne is kind of a spiritual entry to that series anyhow. Dark Souls can be mind-bendingly frustrating, but also incredibly rewarding, and the third entry of this series is something that people have been looking forward to since the second entry. Number 2, Tom Clancy's The Division. Another game that has been in development forever. The Division is a really cool looking game, frankly. Now, it's seen its share of controversy, especially since it seems to show up every once in a while looking slightly different, but people are playing the beta now and calling it great. Some of the the effects I've seen even on the console version are really gorgeous, and the idea of the game is really great as well. So if you're as ready to take a dive into mid-crisis New York, restoring order and investigating the source of a virus that is killing people like crazy, which is pretty interesting because we have seen a whole lot of post-apocalypse, but not as much of what's going on during. And finally, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. There is a big reason that this is number one. There's no series that does set pieces like Uncharted, and with all that extra power, I'd be willing to bet that Uncharted 4s are easily the most impressive. On top of that, they have made some hints that there's going to be some pretty controversial things that happen in Nathan Drake that I think we are all excited to see. They've showed off quite a few of the different gameplay elements, and it looks like they've incorporated a lot of the stuff that has made games better the last few years. Well, at the same time, it really looks like an Uncharted game. This year is great for people who like third-person games. This list is extremely promising, and you know what? Here's some bonus games for you as well. Ratchet & Clank is making a comeback with a total reimagining of the first game. Believe it or not, being created because there's a film coming out tied in with it, which is bizarre, but at the same time really cool. I love Ratchet & Clank. And also the Technomancer, which is a game set 200 years after humans colonized Mars, and involves secret police and 3 styles of combat that I'm sure we're going to see more of as it gets closer. What are you looking forward to most this year? Leave it in the comments for us to all discuss. If you liked the video, please click the like button, it helps us a lot. And if you're not subscribed yet, now's a perfect time to do so. We upload brand new videos every single day of the week, and the best way to see them first is a subscription. As always, we thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you next time right here on GameRanks.